The Fantasy Footballer Studio is sponsored by Walmart. Welcome to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast with your hosts, Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, and Mike Wright.
Welcome in.
It's close.
It's almost football time. Wednesday, September 3rd, the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Jason Moore is here. Mike, the Fantasy Hitman. I'm Andy Holloway, and we are back.
I was pretty upset last night that there was no football game going on.
That's weird because it wasn't scheduled to.
Yeah, it was
No, but it's so close.
It was a Tuesday.
Right.
You
No,
think
I
just
get
if
that.
something's close, it might as well be that day. Like Christmas is the 21st or
All
something.
my drafts had completed, and so it was time now. It was like, okay.
The league waits on you.
Right.
I
Like,
see.
okay, I've got teams. Let's watch them play.
That does make sense. I guess you're not in the Megalo Bowl draft going on right this moment.
I am not. I did my Megalo Bowl draft last night.
Okay. Well, they're all done. I'll ping the league. We'll see if they can get
Yeah,
things
like
going
move up
for
the
you.
schedule. Just
Yeah.
maybe play tonight.
Just bump that up one night.
Well, you're not going to have to wait much longer. I'm pretty excited about it. And we've got Super Bowl picks we're going to talk about today. I just had to do a little glance here. The first waiver wire of our league of record ran, and you went out and you got Xavier Legette because that's what
Okay.
you wanted to do.
I sure did.
I guess it was all additions, and it's perfect timing because nobody dropped anybody. So how did they add people? Well, that's what our first segment of the show is going to be about today. Some players that you can stash on IR and open up a waiver wire spot for. So we'll get into that momentarily. Want to invite everybody to check out the website. All the week one content is available, all the free content, the weekly rankings, the start sit tool, tons of amazing articles from our incredible staff of writers that go up every single week, and they go to bat for you, finding insights and analysis and data and stats and things that will help you win each and every week. You can also take advantage of the Foot Clan tools and resources, including the Ultimate Dashboard, which is a weekly lineup optimization tool. It also gives you spot starts and waiver pickups and things like that. We've got the expanded start sit tool available to you, a bonus weekly episode of the show.
Bonus.
And, we do a bonus mailbag episode for the Foot Clan.
Bonus.
You can learn all about that. It's not – the show's less creepy than Mike is right now, I promise.
Still a little creepy.
It's still
but
a little
just
bit-
less.
You're the one who keeps saying bonus.
Yeah, well.
Bonus.
Jointhefoot.com is where you go for that. And if you've purchased a UDK and you want an ultimate membership, we'll give you $1 for $1 credit for the ultimate draft kit. Just make sure you're logged in. Go to the website, jointhefoot.com. You'll see the credit right there above the ultimate package. And then you check out and you're good to go with the ultimate dashboard. All right, let's jump in.
Backup Options, presented by Progressive Insurance.
Oh, that's a really nice drop, Mike.
Sometimes it's spicy.
Little bonus drop.
Yeah. What bonus?
All right. Today on the backup options segment, I wanted to focus on a handful of players that I want people to, put them on the IR, open up a spot. Maybe they're already on waivers, and you can just go add them off of waivers, put them on the IR, and pick up another player. But basically everybody that's eligible for IR right now, I'm going to bring up the name, but then I want you guys to tell me also whether you think their return will impact the incumbent, the player that is kind of
Gotcha.
standing in for them right now, or at least playing alongside them. We'll start with Tyjae Spears, running back for the Titans, a high ankle sprain on the pup. Tony Pollard jettisoned up draft boards. Tyjae Spears, you can tuck him away. Obviously, Tony Pollard, he's not a young running back. You could get to the point where his efficiency is worse than Spears. Do you think the return of Tyjae Spears will affect Tony Pollard?
It'll definitely have an effect on Tony Pollard. The first month of the season, Pollard gets to be a complete workhorse, split very little work, and have an opportunity to be great for fantasy football. When Tyjae comes back, they talked all offseason. They wanted it to be a 50-50 split, but they said that last year as well. And then it was like, well, you can't really 50-50 split when one guy is clearly better than the other, and you're trying to win games. And I expect that to happen, but they will split the work. So Tony Pollard gets like a month-long bump, and then Tajay Spears, when he comes back, I think he's a worthy guy to have hidden away. You never know. A month from now, what running back is going to be injured anyways.
All right, I'll go back and forth here, Mike. So I'm going to ask you, there are 2 wide receivers for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that are going to be on IR. Jalen McMillan, the rookie from last year who had a great end of the season for fantasy, he's on IR for quite some time. He could be a stash if you found him valuable. But also Chris Godwin. Anybody that drafted Chris Godwin, he's not on the IR.
No.
But he's going to be marked out every week. That might be difficult to manage with your roster if they move from out to doubtful or probable for a period of time. But once he's ruled out in week 1, you can put him on the IR, add somebody. When Godwin returns, when McMillan returns, what is your view of Egbuka? Because he's going to have such a huge opportunity to start the year.
I would just throw Cade Otton on that list as well. Another guy who
can get some work done.
He might be missing this first week.
Oh, that is correct.
I thought he was bad.
They didn't put him on the
IR,
IR, but it's not known whether he's going to play in week 1 or not. So it's possible this week 1 you've got 3 pass catchers missing for the Bucs.
Gotcha. All right, Mike.
Like the way I want it zoomed out is Jalen McMillan. I mean, what was the last thing we heard? Like 8 or 9 weeks. 8 or 9 weeks. It's a neck injury. Those are – you can't mess around with a neck injury. The nice thing, though, is like if he is healthy, he's actually back. You don't – lower body injuries where it takes a while to come back. You would think if he's back and he's ready to go. But that's just such a long time, and I expect him to be buried. Chris Godwin is far more difficult because I do see the situation shaking out that he won't be marked out. I mean, this will be you'll have him in your IR. The week will flip over, and you're going to have to get those your waiver moves in. What is it? Real quick before he gets switched back to doubtful or questionable, because they're not going to rule him out until, I don't know what, probably Thursday or Friday every single week. So you're going to have a very tricky roster management situation of not being able to set a lineup of especially it's really going to mess you up with like Thursday night players. So I guess that's just,
well, you'll
thinking
be able
through
to...
it, the tip is like, if you're going to have Godwin, when you're putting your waiver wire moves in, you better set your lineup. Like, you better make sure that your Thursday night players are out of your flex, because once waivers run, he's going to be flipped to not out, and you're not going to be able to make a move.
But then by the end of the week, you can move him into and add a spot for the week in one of those weekend flyers.
Yeah, you definitely will be able to do that. But it's like,
but the question on Egbuka,
okay,
that's what I wanted the answer on. What do you think of Egbuka if he starts strong? Are you willing to move him because it's going to become more clogged in the passing game?
I wouldn't. If Egbuka were a day 2, like a wide receiver 3 who's just really taking advantage of a lack of targets, or with the superstar players out, but Egbuka was drafted with the plan to be great, as a wise man said, drafted to be great. So I'm not moving Egbuka. I'm more concerned actually for just Godwin overall, of like what if Mike Evans and Egbuka are cooking and it takes Godwin multiple weeks to get back in, then I think you're going to be holding on for Godwin forever, and it just seems like a really troubling situation.
All right, well, they did just pay him. That's the further complicating it is that they want him in the plans, but you're right. He was a slow starter back from injury last time. Jalen Coker, wide receiver for the Carolina Panthers. The Thielen trade opened up a spot for him, then a major quad injury, 4 to 6 weeks is the expectation. Coker on a lot of – his major quad is hurting. Not the minor quad. Coker will be on IR. He's on waiver wire in our league of record. You could add him. You could throw him onto the IR spot, and you could wait. Is it worth it? And then how do you look at Xavier Legette? Jason just picked him up in the hopes that maybe he gets more work. Jatavian Sanders, Hunter Renfrow, and then obviously Tet McMillan should start strong. Coker's a name you can throw on IR, but will it affect Leggett? I think so.
I don't think it will affect Leggett that much because I think they're going to operate in different areas of the field. Like Hunter Renfrow, to me, is the guy that when Jalen Coker comes back, I think Adam Thielen leaving really opened things up for Coker. And it was like, oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe you want Coker more than Leggett. And then Coker had a really serious quad injury, apparently. Major quad injury.
Quad.
I mean, obviously, any time that someone comes in and can take targets, it could come at the expense of other players. But I think that just the where they're operating on the field, Legett's going to get his kind of contested catch, deep field stuff, red zone targets, and Coker is going to be more the possession guy that will fight with Renfrow for that job.
See, there was very few players I was less impressed with than Xavier Leggett last year. He was, I think, it was a terrible rookie season production-wise. It was terrible catch percentage-wise. He dropped a ton of passes. I do wonder whether he'll be as much of a focal point in this offense as I think it's going to be a lot of gadgetry.
Well, he'll have to now. I mean, without Coker and without Adam Thielen, now he could still fail. He could. I mean, he is necessary to this offense, and then he could go out there and still stink and catch 58% of his passes and not move the needle for you. I didn't pick up Leggett because I'm like, man, he was so good. It's just he's a year 2 wide receiver who was a first-round draft pick who now has opportunity ahead of him. It's just a pathway.
And it's remember where Leggett came from of when we were talking about him as a prospect. If you weren't around for us talking about that, we had great caution for him because his production profile, like he was just pure nothingness for what, like 4 years?
For a whole college
the old
career.
Like year 5 breakout in college, which he was dominant. That 1 year, it was how was this guy not doing anything? He was like just so athletic, but it was a major red flag that it took that long for him to break out. He's the older guy beating up on kids, and then Carolina took the risk with the first round pick. So I still question whether or not he's going to work.
He played 70% of snaps last year, had 84 targets, 49 catches for 497, and he'll get an opportunity to start the year to make a big impact. All right, some other names. Joe Mixon. Obviously, Joe Mixon is an IR stash. If
playing for 2026,
I mean, if I know, it's like Mixon's been such a storyline. It's like we just don't know. We don't know if he'll be like they say they're going to try him out after 4 weeks, but he could be out the whole year. That's what the vibes feel like right now. Nick Chubb, Dameon Pierce, those are the next men up. They didn't add somebody. They haven't added somebody else. If you want to find a possible positive angle for Mixon, it's that they haven't gone and signed another back. And obviously he's not on year-ending IR or anything like that. So Mixon's an easy player to draft and stash late. But Nick Chubb, Dameon Pierce,
you just got to take a shot.
You just got to take your shot.
No one has the inside track as to whether or not Pierce is going to be good or whether Chubb's going to be good. I think we all presume that the likeliest outcome is that neither one of these players are going to actually be a huge difference maker. I believe myself and Andy are probably on the Chubb side first.
Yeah, well,
I'd start with Chubb.
Part of the reason is that if Chubb is back in any real capacity, it's very, very obviously good for fantasy. It's like he's going to be the goal line back. He's got a history and a pedigree of being successful. Like Dameon Pierce, I feel will always be in a committee with Chubb. I feel like if Chubb was really good, it wouldn't be the other direction.
Yeah.
Is that
no, I agree.
Too?
That's how I see it. So again, I don't expect Chubb to be great at this stage of his career off the injuries he's had. But if one of them were to have a breakout, I would be surprised if it's Dameon Pierce.
Brandon Ayuk, who has been drafted in every draft I'm in, I think begrudgingly in some ways, but a superstar and a player that got a huge contract coming off the ACL, not really competition in the wide receiver room. I mean, Ricky Pearsall is an unproven sophomore who should have a successful start to the year. Juwan Jennings, yes, he's going to be a role player. He's dealing with a calf injury, and he wants a contract, so how long will he be there and happy? But what do you think of the 49ers? Brandon Ayuk, he's an easy stash on IR, but Pearsall, if he has a strong start, are you just sticking with him?
Yeah, I think if Pearsall shows out early on, then he's just leveled up. And I could see Brandon Ayuk coming back and Pearsall still being the one over Ayuk. When Ayuk came back last year, he wasn't doing great things on the field. He got the big contract and got paid to do great things, but didn't, and then got injured. So I expect a slower start, but obviously everything we love with the 49ers schedule, the offense, the reason we like George Kittle and Juwan Jennings and all this is because there's huge opportunity here. So Ayuk could certainly come back and make a difference, but I'm not bullish on him.
One of the most, if not the most, ignored IR stashes, Christian Watson, wide receiver for the Packers. We have talked at length about Jaden Reed's foot injury. He could get shut down at some point or just be ineffective, already limited snap counts. I think we can simultaneously respect Romeo Doubs, but also acknowledge that he's probably a role player.
Sure.
Who will have maybe a big role in the beginning of the year. Matthew Golden, unproven, a rookie, I think will be the one. But Christian Watson can be tucked away. He will be back from the ACL injury. Do you have any interest in him at all?
That one's honestly just when. When is he back? Because he tore his ACL.
I think I hear like 4 weeks.
I would be surprised.
That is real
because he had the additional
It was the
damage.
final week.
Yeah, he had the ACL plus additional damage. So and those usually take a little bit more time.
I'm seeing early November.
Yeah,
or mid October.
Okay, that makes
so
more
maybe
sense.
that's more like 6 weeks.
It's interesting to bring him up because it's like both him and Brandon Ayuk are a destroyed knee, and we were spending the whole offseason like, do not draft Brandon Ayuk in round 7 or whatever his ADP is. It's not a good investment of when he's actually going to come back. And meanwhile, Watson is, not drafted. I feel like he's just going to clog your IR. Like if you have 2 spots, okay, maybe. But if you have 1 IR spot, I wouldn't be holding him.
Also, if you have IR spots, this is the whole point of this segment, and it's really about strategy. You should have someone on it. You're getting a free player. Like if one of these players is on waivers, you take your bottom guy on your team and drop them and pick them up and put them on IR and take another shot.
And then Marshawn Lloyd, don't forget about him, even though it's easy to do so because he lives on the IR.
Yeah.
He won't be able to play until week 6 because the Packers have a week 5 bye, so 4 weeks on the pup, week 5. The reality of the situation there in Green Bay is that if something happens to Josh Jacobs, it would be Lloyd that I would want.
He was making
After week
waves.
5.
He was making waves, and the camp reports once he actually got, because he started injured again and then got back out to camp and then was wowing people and then wowed his body too much.
So how do you rank stashing these players?
Of everyone we talked
7?
about?
Yeah.
I would say Tajay Spears is the number 1.
Yeah.
Maybe Jalen Coker sticks out to me high up there. Ayuk.
Where are you with Mixon?
Mixon to me doesn't really count because Mixon was drafted in every draft at a place where it's like
Okay,
he's not on waivers.
Sure.
I'm not going to pick him up. He's, you could say Mixon is probably the most valuable player of all of these. I just don't consider him in the group with, Tajay and Coker and Marshawn Lloyd, and these guys are probably on waivers in, a third of leagues right now.
I know there's people out there, that's impossible. There's going to be leagues out there where Mixon will be dropped. Like, just because home leagues, crazy stuff happens.
Especially if you don't have an IR.
Yeah, so.
Do you pick him up if you don't have an IR?
No.
I would.
I would not.
It feels dumb, but I still would.
I don't think I would do it. Rashee Rice is that guy, like, we didn't bring him up because you can't put him on an IR. He's going to have 6 weeks of clogging a bench spot. That's going to hurt. Like, even this morning, like, I really wanted to pick up a couple waiver guys, and I just didn't want to drop the players that are on my roster right now. If you have a player not being productive every week, it's going to feel worse and worse with the waiver wire. So, yeah, I probably wouldn't on Mixon. Jason would, but you can make the call. All right. That was Backup Options, sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Quote today at progressive.com. We'll take a break. We'll hit the news. All right, let's talk about some news.
News and notes from around the league, presented by Progressive Insurance.
It wouldn't be week 1 without unofficial depth chart overreaction. So let's get into it. Let's bring you those depth charts, and let's just watch you react. I want facial expressions for the YouTube audience.
Okay.
Bill Krosky.
Oh, no!
Bill Krosky was listed as Washington's running back 4. There's not even a guarantee they dress 4, but certainly they could dress Bill and not dress McNichols. It was ordered.
That's the funniest part.
It was ordered in H. I'm just saying. It was Eckler, McNichols,
veteran respect.
Chris Rodriguez, Bill. So overreaction, underreaction, what do you think? Bill at RB4, do you care?
I don't care that much. We see this every year where a lot of times rookies will start on their unofficial depth charts behind other people, and then week 1 comes and it's like, well, that was just literally like paper honor. And now with Bill specifically, we kind of have been saying he is likely behind some other people on the depth chart. So this one was like not even surprising.
Everything about Bill is, do you believe that the player is special? That's what it seems to come down to. It's like the people that love Bill love and are impressed with him and think he's on a different level than the other running backs. If you don't believe that and you just look at draft capital or depth chart or any of the other, the collegiate stuff, I think you're out. But if you believe in the talent, I get it. Like, I understand why you'd be in that place. It's not like Chris Rodriguez hasn't had years to establish. McNichols, years. And Eckler is he's a good running back, but he's not what he was a long time ago. So committee is at best what he is.
The scariest part, I think, for Bill, if you're talking just week 1, is the wise guys out there were saying his line is about 24 rushing yards. And that is now gone. As in, it got bet the under so much books pulled it. So look, they don't know everything, but
they just try to limit losses too.
Well, they try and limit losses, but I'm saying like they have back doors they can go knock on and ask how things are going to go.
Well, that'll be a fun one to watch. Travion Henderson listed as New England's RB3 behind Ramondre and
Of course,
Antonio.
I don't care.
Antonio
What
Gibson.
This is so dumb.
Well, of course you don't care because you love Antonio Gibson so much.
Yeah,
so you're just like, well,
right.
Of course he's great.
That's right.
Yeah, man, a backfield with Gibson and Henderson.
I know. There's so much.
We need
love.
to get Ramondre traded for who? Like, who would be another name that?
Oh, to add a third,
a third Mike superstar
like Ken Bone.
No. This is Rico.
Oh, it is Rico.
Totally.
Yeah,
let's get Hendo at RB1. Gibson RB2.
Mike can
Rico.
answer the joke himself.
Yeah.
All right, so you don't care about Travion at RB3. What about the Broncos situation? J.K. Dobbins is listed as the starter. R.J. Harvey, RB2. I think at one point in the offseason, correct me if I'm wrong, I think R.J. Harvey was listed at like 5.
Uh-huh.
And so, to me, him moving up in an official capacity to RB2 is significant. That's where the team obviously sees him, but
his
he's not the
utilization
one.
in preseason was great, but obviously Dobbins was –
They
could be Dobbins being
field.
rested, exactly, because he is the clear starter. Right now, I think week 1, J.K. Dobbins is still going to be the
if you had both,
lead ball toucher.
Whoa. Yeah, what is
I think he's going to receive catches, targets, and handoffs at a higher
I think
rate.
Will touch I think the question was if you have both Dobbins and Harvey, who are you playing?
That is the question. If you had them both, which I know you do in one league, Mike, you'll have to start both in that league.
Yeah.
But if you had to choose one in week 1, you go out there.
Man, because the reporting was
matchup against Tennessee in week 1.
Because the reporting was expect J.K. Dobbins to be the starter at least for the beginning of the year.
That's where I'd probably go.
It's such a brutal call because if you spent draft capital on both these guys, you drafted Harvey where the 4th or the 5th round, and then Dobbins in the 8th.
It's funny too because let's say we knew the opportunities, right? And we say J.K. Dobbins gets 15 opportunities and R.J. Harvey gets 11. Who has more fantasy points? Because the explosive,
right. Yeah, that's fair.
Rookie.
If it was like that, then maybe I'd. It's really close in week 1.
Yeah,
really close.
Both are fine starters, and it's a good matchup.
I think Dobbins is less risky in week 1, but maybe Harvey does have more explosive upside.
Yeah.
ETN and Bigsby listed as co-starters.
Are they running out 2 running backs?
0 is the answer. No, Tank Bigsby, Travis Etienne, co-starters. Who would you rather have to start in week 1?
I'm still on Team Tank.
I'm still on ETN. I think he's going to get the pass catching work over Tank, but probably.
I think they both get pass catching work.
I mean, if Tank Bigsby got pass catching work, he would be the better option because he is a more efficient runner between the tackles. He's a better pure running back. But the passing work that Travis Etienne has always had from Trevor Lawrence, I can't imagine that vanishing.
Over under half a reception for Tank Bigsby.
See, that's a good line, and that's the problem. I will take the over, but if you said 1.5,
Okay,
I would take the under.
I was going to move it again.
Yeah, the hard part with ETN is that if he doesn't score, which he shouldn't, right? It should be Bigsby around the goal line.
Should.
If not Tootin, but probably Bigsby.
Right.
It's like ETN had 202 opportunities last year and did so little with it.
Yeah.
So it's like I just feels like even if you give him more total work, it's going to come down to touchdowns, so I lean Bigsby. Caleb Johnson listed as the running back 3 behind Jalen.
Right where we want him, boys.
Right behind Jalen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell.
No one loves the third running back more than Arthur Smith.
With also,
now he can get on the goal line.
where's our Mike Tomlin quote?
That was pretty brutal.
I don't have it verbatim in front of me, but
we can find that.
we can find
There's no question.
It is a worthy quote. It needs to be known and said. And what is shocking, so we did our listener league draft yesterday. I ended up with Caleb Johnson, a player.
You did?
Yeah, I know. It's shocking.
I had no idea.
No, but you want to know what will shock you?
I do.
My Q was not
I've
Caleb
got the
Johnson.
quote.
My Q was Jalen Warren, who
And
I
he
was
went-
going to
and he
take,
went
but
ahead
he
of-
went ahead, so Caleb fell to me. But, I mean, right now, Jalen Warren is the starter. I like Caleb Johnson. I still think he can make an impact as the season goes on, but Jalen Warren is the guy
Mike
right now.
Tomlin on Jalen Warren, his progress has been very evident, and he's to be congratulated. Certainly he will be our featured runner. Certainly you'll see Caleb Johnson, Kenneth Gainwell, but at what time and to what degree will depend week to week.
Yeah. It's Jalen Warren's team to start.
Yep. But that doesn't mean that Caleb can't be relevant.
No, throughout the season, but
I'm just
So in other
thank
words,
goodness he's
you
not the
do
backup.
buy into that
I buy in that Jalen Warren will be the featured running back for the first at least month.
Excited?
Maybe more.
Excited about this one. Titans have listed Epic Iomanor as
Okay.
wide receiver 2 ahead of Van Jefferson to start the year. That would be Alec Iomanor, and he is the rookie wide receiver for the Titans that I'm paying the most attention to. I have him in
That's
every single draft and in our Dynasty League. Not that he will have some incredible season, but there is the opportunity for him to establish. It's a rookie quarterback. It's Cam Ward. It's a team that's going to be playing from behind a lot. And
It's Calvin Ridley and Jack Squat. They need another receiver. And so if
they
Epic-
drafted Jack Squad in the 6th, was it?
Right. And then Restrepo they signed undrafted. So it was just Epic
Well, and DK.
as the
Yes.
I think Epic is the primary wide receiver 2 in the from week 1. And if he's good, that's the question. Like if he's actually good,
And he looked good in preseason.
But it just, Jason,
And in college.
do you care?
I care a little bit. Yeah, because Cam Ward can actually be something special. So if Cam
yes,
Ward
he
is
can.
okay,
Eh,
bank.
eh.
Oh, we got booed.
You didn't
pretty
call
heavy.
swish.
That's true.
So
There you go. Just
I have no problem with the player. I just have I'm the cold bucket of water for the situation.
it's fair.
Rookie quarterbacks can barely support one top wide receiver, and that's
Back in the 90s. no, also the odds.
yeah. So
And
it's just,
also the 10s.
but like if you're in a deep league, sure. Like he'll be on the field.
Also, I believe, and I don't see it on here, but I believe Dante Thornton is also listed as a starter.
Yeah.
And
he's been a starter from the first second of training camp through
Mike.
preseason.
Throw some cold water on my Dante Thornton because I have him everywhere. I believe he can be the one right out of the gate in Las Vegas.
I believe he could be not the one because that's Brock, not the 2 because Jacoby is good, and I think he's interesting because he's a size speed freak. I have questions if it will actually work in the NFL. Once true NFL defenses are playing against him, like can he handle the press and actually get open?
We are so close to our first.
Like the New York Times.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What is happening today?
Swish!
We are so close to our Thursday night preview, guys. Najee Harris practiced in full. Mike Vrabel said Stephon Diggs will play in week 1. Isaiah Likely not expected to play in week 1.
And
Gabe Davis to the practice squad of the Bills.
We have Mark Andrews has really not been discussed much at all. Where are you guys with Andrews?
I think he should get off to a fine start. I mean, week 1, at least Buffalo, a high over-under, no Likely on the field. You're going to score points. So him and Kelsey
It's so frustrating, but we all know Mark Andrews he'll be like the number 1 tight end in week 1.
Yeah, I mean, I think both of those old guys are going to have a real strong start to the season because their competition is going to be absent for the first couple weeks.
All right, we have a Thursday night preview to get to. That was News and Notes, sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to policy terms, limits, and conditions.
Football!
It's finally time.
Thursday Night Breakdown.
Well, Jerry's been spending that Micah Parsons money on some other players. Dallas at Philadelphia.
I cannot with that guy.
Philly is now 8.5-point favorites at home. The over/under is 47.5. That gives. By the way, we got some new graphics up on the YouTube.
Oh,
we got some new matchup
I was
graphics up
not
on the
prepared.
YouTube,
Very nice.
and they look real nice. But Philly 28 implied points. Dallas 19.5. Before the Parsons trade, Philly was 7-point favorite, so it's moved 1.5. And here we go. No Micah Parsons. Philly coming off of the Super Bowl victory. Like I said yesterday, this would be the greatest statement game ever for Jerry Jones and company, and for the Cowboys fans if they came out and won in Philly in week 1. You know that generally the defenses are a little bit ahead of the offenses sometimes when the season starts.
Sure.
So they probably could have used Micah Parsons.
The fact that this is a divisional game, and the Cowboys are 8.5-point dogs. Like, divisional games are usually like, if we're favored by 3, like, oh, okay, are you sure? But 8.5 points is just, it would be a miracle.
This is the beginning of, Dak plus CD plus George.
Yes.
When Dallas has had Dak as their starting quarterback offensively, they've been 5th in plays per game, 7th in red zone plays per game, 5th in points per game. It's been a minute since we've got to see that level of Dak CD, and because it wasn't quite cooking to start the year last year, and then Dak went down.
Or the year prior when they did finish as the number 1 duo.
It was off to a slow start.
Yeah, the first 4 weeks, but that was that when Kellen Moore was still there?
Believe so.
2 years ago. I guess I bring that up because it didn't go well without him to start last year. Then we didn't see the rest of it, and we have Brian Schottenheimer. It is something to watch what they do with those two guys. I saw them talking about each other and saying it's not a 1 and a 2 situation. It's 1 and 1 on both sides. That's the way the wide receivers talked about it. But let's start with
CD saying that?
CD, yeah.
That's
CD
real nice of him.
Yeah, it was super nice.
He
did wink.
We like George, but come on, William.
It's something you say. You know what I mean? Speaking of which, on this show, it's like 1 and 1 and 1.
Yeah.
You know what
we're
I mean?
all ones here.
Yeah. All right, Javonte Williams and company. That's what I'm going to say about the Cowboys when the season starts. Philadelphia was the second best defense against fantasy running backs last year.
How were they against wide receivers?
Were they number 1?
No, they were top 5.
Oh,
but what about quarterbacks? Top 5.
Really good.
Tight ends, top 5.
So maybe slow start for Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, this was so I am very, very in on Dak Prescott, on George, on CD. The passing game here for the Cowboys, I'm fully in on this season. But the opening schedule is really tough. If you went and drafted Dak, if you went and got George, you're going to need to do one of two things: have resolve and stay the course, or look at other options to start the year. Like Dak, if you drafted Dak, I don't mind if you're out there and you say, you know what, Trevor Lawrence is sitting on waivers. I would rather play Trevor Lawrence week 1. I have Dak several places. I am not personally doing that. But I could tell you if this was a Sunday morning game,
I mean, you're going to
Trevor
have
Lawrence would be in my lineup. I can't possibly watch opening night football and not have the Dak points. I have to have it.
Dak will. So they play Philly, then they play the Giants, then they play the Bears,
and
then they play Micah Parsons and the Packers.
The Giants and
then
Bears.
They play the Jets in New York.
Giants and Bears might not sound like difficult matchups, but literally the Bears were like 32nd last year against they were the toughest matchup for quarterbacks. And the Giants' offense is bad, but their defense is very good.
Maybe the best defensive line in football. So I am. You're gonna have to show me how strong you are.
My resolve, yeah. A month from now,
I am not
sweating.
I don't believe in the offense, and I believe it'll be a bad start, and I don't think I'll be buying in. But maybe you have to, and maybe that defense will be so bad that you have the NFC Bengals to deal with.
That is the real hope. Dak is a good player. We know CeeDee Lamb is an elite top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. You're not going to just be able to stop them all the time, and their defense stinks and they can't run the ball. So they will be throwing. It's just really tough to do here week 1 against the Eagles.
You would play Dak or Justin Fields, Mike? Justin Fields plays Pittsburgh in week 1.
Oh, my gosh. I think I'll still go with Dak.
So Dak, I'm looking at the game log last year. So he was the quarterback 22, 15, 1, 11, 12, 28, 18, and 22 before the injury. Dak or Trevor Lawrence, we answered it. Dak or Drake May in week 1?
I'd
Mike?
stick with Dak.
And then Javonte, are you just not playing Javonte?
Oh, goodness me, no.
The only I mean the path thankfully Javonte was not in an area where you have to play him unless you were like, I'm going 0 RB and Javonte is my hero.
What if you had no 2nd through 6th round picks?
Then maybe you drafted Javonte.
Wait, do you have Javonte?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't. But I would have loved to have had him. That's where I was.
The path forward for Javonte is he's a good pass protector.
He was a keeper
in our
for
league
Josh.
record. Yeah.
Oh no!
Oh, Papa Josh!
Look at him!
I hope you're starting.
Look at him, Javonte's biggest fan.
The path forward is he should be on the field because I expect them to be trailing, and then if you get 4 receptions,
little check downs,
then you'll be like
4 for 5 yards.
Yeah.
Jake Ferguson, you're okay in week 1?
I like Jake Ferguson for the season, but I would prefer
bad matchup.
Not to play him this week.
A.J. Brown.
Yeah, just start your Eagles.
Yeah.
Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts.
Well,
what
about Goddard?
Goddard's interesting.
That's the first time his name's been mentioned in
because
8 months.
Yawn.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a 19% target share each of the last
insane.
4 years. That's a great
What?
number.
That's impossible.
If you look at this, I think this is the matchup, right? Like, if you've got Ferguson and Goddard is out on waivers, who would you rather have in this specific game? Feel like I'd rather have the team that's going to win.
Last year, Dallas lost 34-6, 41-7 in the 2 games against Philadelphia.
I think they're both Dak-less.
Neither one was Dak, yeah.
Is that okay.
When he does a play, that's what they call it.
Yes, they do. All right, we'll take a break. We'll jump into the mailbag.
This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Look, Prize Picks is the best way to win cash this football season. Which players are going off? Which ones are not? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your takes into cash all season long on Prize Picks. They also invented the Flex Play, which means you can still cash out even if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Join millions of users and sign up today. Download the app today and use code FOOTBALLERS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code FOOTBALLERS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right.
What's up, Foot Clan? You can't count on much these days, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. That's right, football fans. Watch your local NFL game every Sunday on CBS and Paramount Plus all season long. This year's schedule is absolutely stacked with rivalries and revenge games, including the next chapter of the epic Bills-Chiefs saga. That'll be fun. So stay connected all year on any device, at home or on the go. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today and count on Sundays for another must-see season of the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. All right, it's time to answer some of your questions. Into the mailbag we go.
Mailbag. Presented by NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube TV.
All righty, we are into the mailbag. We got a voicemail to start it off. If you have a question, you can go to the website, thefantasyfootballers.com. Click the submit a question button or dial the voicemail hotline 302-464-TFFB. Here we go.
Hey, ballers. This is Anthony from New Jersey. Huge fan of the show. My question to you guys is, who would you rather start this week in the flex? Full point PPR. Tyrone Tracy Jr. or Jerome Ford? Thanks, guys.
I would play Tyrone Tracy.
Man,
By a lot.
Really?
Yes.
I think it's difficult. I would love to play a running back against the Cincinnati Bengals. That sounds like a real good time in week 1. I think the only issue is
They'll be down by 40 by the time he gets a second carry.
Well, it's the reporting, of like I think the last thing we heard was Mary Kay was like, no, Jerome Ford's expected to be the starter, but then there's like weird back channels that are like, don't be shocked if Dylan Sampson's the starter. So that's the only thing that scares me off of Jerome Ford is that you put him in there, you love the matchup, the game comes up, and they're introducing the starters, and it's Dylan Sampson, and then you're going to have a full panic attack.
Yeah, I mean, both of these players have a day 3 running back to compete with, whether it's Dylan Sampson or whether it's Cam Scattaboo. I look at the matchup, and I love the matchup against the Bengals. I like the fact that Jerome Ford, has had a season of 63 targets. This is a full PPR league. You're going to be down against the Bengals. I think Jerome Ford ends up, with 3 or 4 or 5 receptions in this game, little checkdowns from Flacco. So I actually lean the Ford side. It's a good debate, but the pass catching work, we're not sure if that's going to be Cam Scattaboo, who was great at that in college, or Tyrone Tracy.
I would honestly.
Tracy had 53 targets last year, so he can catch the football.
Oh yeah. It's not that he can't. It's that the Scattaboo factor is real, where Tracy didn't really have anybody to worry about. I would take this to Sunday, and if I got the full clearance that Jerome Ford is definitely starting, I would play Ford. Otherwise, I would probably just put Tracy in there.
All right, we got our first mailbag question here. Reveal your Super Bowl picks for the 2025 season. No better time than now, right before the season kicks off, to give a final word on who you think is going to win.
You guys already had yours in, and I didn't want to be boring.
Jason just reacted very.
So I went with one where it's like, no, I can see it happen.
All right, so then I'll be more boring. I gave this some thought. I think the NFC is maybe easier than.
I checked the odds. The top 2 teams.
Oh, are they?
Yes.
I did not check the odds, but it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I like Green Bay in the NFC. I like Detroit, but I don't like them as much as Philadelphia. So I have Philadelphia repeating and beating Baltimore in the Super Bowl.
I have Baltimore in the Super Bowl as well, but not Philly. I have the Micah Parsons-led Packers, unfortunately, Jeremy, losing to the Baltimore Ravens in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's really hard for me to not see it being Baltimore as the pick, but to throw a contrarian idea out there, I went with the Denver Broncos over the Detroit Lions. I think that the Bo Nix, with the 10-7 record as a rookie, year 2, with the Broncos defense is ferocious, and the Lions defense will be back to being healthy.
So good for my Bo Nix rookie cards, Mike. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I do.
I appreciate that. Sportsfan 101 writing in, can I trust Omarion Hampton enough to start him in week 1? Chargers are 3-point underdogs against Kansas City. It's the Brazil game, so they're not really in Kansas City or at home. They're just in Brazil. Kansas City was the best team against fantasy running backs last year.
I don't know how who you drafted on your roster, where he was going by draft time. He's a third-round pick, so
need to take advantage of any lack of Najee as well.
Well, I think Najee's going to play.
But it can't be much.
No,
if he hasn't taken a practice snap until today.
The line on Hampton, I think it opened at 48.5 rushing yards, and it's already down. So the matchup stinks, but I think I'm with Jason of you took him to be a starter, and I don't think I would get cute.
You also believe in the system that Harbaugh's running to. If any team's going to execute it against the Chiefs, it's going to be them.
And it's Brazil. If they didn't fix the turf, then there's going to be a lot of points.
I would say the only players that you might have where I'd go, okay, I would play James Conner. I'd
play James Conner for sure.
Yeah, James Conner and Alvin Kamara in the same game against each other.
Okay, that's fair.
If you had those guys where you got to decide between them and Hampton, okay. Otherwise, I'm plugging in the rookie.
Euro writes in on X, hey, ballerinos. Do you guys have any first Sunday of football rituals or traditions to break in for the new year? Do we have any first Sunday football rituals?
Other than the
set my lineups.
the chanting, the candles.
Right.
I mean, other than that.
But that's who doesn't have that.
Yeah, that's
the
just
lucky
pants.
regular
Regular old stuff.
Yeah, Mike doesn't wear pants week 1. That's,
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
What the first Travion Henderson?
You're wearing tearaways.
Of course.
Okay. All right.
I probably need multiples.
Oh, that's a good idea. Just layer it up. See if you can put the pants store out of
I would
business.
prefer him to layer it up. Yes. Yeah. All right. What is the vibe check right now? Zach wants to know, Instagram question, what's the vibe check on Colston Loveland? Loveland, you want to talk about another depth chart reaction type of situation. I mean, Cole Kmet is very clearly the starter there right now. Colston Loveland did get some time in the last preseason game where he caught, I think, the first pass and has obviously been drafted to be an explosive weapon. I think it's really hard when it's DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, Luther Burden, DeAndre Swift, Colston Loveland, and this whole myriad of options with a quarterback you may or may not trust.
Yeah, I mean, that's why he was a late-round draft pick. However, in the NFL, he was a super high draft pick that every team wanted and people were trying to trade up for. So there's been plenty of leagues where I take Colston Loveland, like with my last pick, as a second tight end, not to start week 1, but just to see just to see, if there's another breakout. I agree with you, Andy. The pathway for him is very difficult. That's why I was, right after the NFL draft, I was much lower on Loveland and Tyler Warren because the path is so much more clear, I believe, for Warren.
The most popular start-sit question right now on the website so far are 2 rookie wide receivers that are both my guys.
My guy versus my guy.
That are facing defenses ranked 29th and 31st last year against the pass, against wide receivers. Emeka Egbuka at Atlanta, Tetairoa McMillan at Jacksonville.
Man.
This is an easy Tet to me.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's more like, Tetairoa is in the Mike Evans role here. He's the one for his team right off the bat. Whereas Emeka Egbuka is going to be on the field. I'm not saying he couldn't have the better game, but I feel like he is still the 2 for this team behind Mike Evans. I am very excited for seeing what Tetairoa can do. Both of these matchups are close enough to equal where it's not like, it's not like one of these is great and the other is terrible for Tet. Plus, where you drafted him, I mean, this is an easy, for me, Tetairoa week 1.
They're both great starts, but I would go Tet as well.
I would. I just don't call it an easy one. But at the end of the day, I'm starting McMillan.
But there are additional Egbuka questions coming in, including Jamison Williams against Green Bay or Emeka Egbuka.
My guy versus my guy.
Oh, yeah, so I can't answer. I'd start them both.
Yeah, but just start them both. That's a great answer. I like it.
Bench whoever else you have.
Right, yeah.
No, I mean, if I had to choose between those 2, I mean, we just talked about the matchup. Egbuka, not a lot of options. If Otten doesn't play, if McMillan's not there, if Godwin's not there, Does
Jameson's-
Bucky Irving get it done on the ground against Atlanta? Probably.
Jameson's going to be on the road in Green Bay.
Yeah, I'll take Egbuka week 1.
I think I would as well.
All right.
They, I think the over/under is tied right now, and let's see, Tampa is implied for 25, and the Lions are at 22.5. Whew. I think I'd start Jameson Williams.
Eddie in Rhode Island writes in, who is the better stash at the end of a 10-team PPR bench? Ollie Gordon or Braelon Allen? I do not have Achane or Hall on my team, so you're looking at just blindly adding one of these for upside.
For me, it's Ollie Gordon.
Yeah.
For me, it's Braelon Allen.
Okay.
I think I'm going with Ollie Gordon.
I don't think I'm going to be surprised in week 1 that Ollie Gordon is like I can be surprised and Braelon can be the starter for New York. Braelon could get more work.
He could.
And be establishing. So that's where I lean. Like, if I'm going to stash one and I learn something new, I'm not going to learn something new in Miami in terms of the hierarchy of running backs, but I will potentially learn something new in New York. So that's why I would pick Allen.
I think you very well could end up learning something new on Ollie Gordon. Not that he would be the lion's share over Achane, but if he gets into that Mostert role, if he gets the goal line work, if he is really the more involved than you think he is, and he's not just some backup to Achane, but he's actually splitting with Achane, I think he's a better. I think he's a better player than Braelon Allen.
Oh, I don't, and I expect all the things you just said. Like, if that doesn't happen in week 1 for Ollie Gordon, then I would be.
Then you would learn something.
I would be surprised. Like, he should be, right? I mean, they don't just use Achane, so Ollie's the only guy they got. He should do all that stuff. It's just
to me, a lot of it's just
offense
versus offense.
Sure.
Whether you want, who's going to have more touchdown opportunities, the Jets or the Dolphins?
Yeah, and the Dolphins are historically the worst goal line team with Jalen Wright and with Devon Achane. So if Ollie Gordon somehow has success, that would be relevant, like Mostert did a couple of years ago. Who do I target in the Bears' backfield? Xavier wants to know on X, behind DeAndre Swift. Who do I target in the Bears' backfield behind DeAndre Swift?
I think it is.
My man.
I think it's Kyle Monangai, which is this year is wild. Talking about all these day 3 running backs is hurting my brain of odds and history of what has happened. Day 3 running backs are irrelevant. But the way that they've talked about Monangai, I think he is the RB2. It could honestly be nobody. It could be Swift gets a whole bunch of action in between the 20s and Monangai's the backup, and then as soon as they're inside the 5, it's Roschon Johnson. And
I think Swift is underrated. I think Swift is underrated for drafts. I think nobody ever wants to draft him, and I think that's dumb.
I think I don't know that it's dumb, but I think there's a chance that he is.
I mean, Ben Johnson should – if Ben Johnson succeeds, you have to carry that out to its implications for every position group.
Sure.
And we haven't done that with Swift. We've done it for all the wide receivers and the tight ends. I don't feel like we've said, hey, we literally can't decide if it's Roschon who's been bad or Monangai who's never played. But we're sitting here with DeAndre Swift, and it's like you could be a really, really valuable piece. He looked great in the preseason. And Ben Johnson, if you carry it out to its end, I feel like DeAndre Swift is a steal.
Well, it comes down to we've seen Ben Johnson with DeAndre Swift before. And I'm trying to pull
Swift was good per touch.
Yes, per touch.
Just didn't get as much.
Per touch he was. The thing is...
when he was with the Lions.
Yes, when he was with the Lions. The thing about that year, though, is Jamal Williams had 262 carries and 17 rushing touchdowns. That's the issue with Swift.
To DeAndre Swift's 99 carries.
Yeah.
But he did miss a few games.
So DeAndre Swift...
he played 14.
The funny thing about him is no matter what the path is, he's played on 3 teams. His points per game, 12-8. 13-7, 11-9, 11-2, 11-4.
He can't keep getting away with it, Andy.
He's 11 plus a game.
Can't.
Everybody has him consensus ranked outside the top 24, but he's finished inside the top 24 for 5 straight years. It's just, let's just put it, I'm saying maybe it's better off putting that emotion to the side and just leaning in.
Never.
Okay, that's another option. Never is another option. Let's go to this question. Adam Stewart in Ontario. My bench has too many. Need to drop one. Jordan Mason or Tank Bigsby?
Oh, that stinks.
I would drop Bigsby.
Yeah.
I would too, but
because I think Mason's a better player.
Yeah, I mean, that's who you have to drop? There's not a...
Well, that's what Adam
Tank
said.
Tank is a pretty late pick.
Yeah.
But there's like a... I don't know. There's a late veteran wide receiver who doesn't really have upside.
If you have Adam Thielen,
then I'm
you're
dropping
saying
Adam
drop
Thielen.
Adam
Yeah.
Thielen. Okay.
But to drop regardless of how you feel about Tank Bigsby or his talent, he is currently listed as a co-starter.
Yep.
For Liam Cohen.
Yep.
So dropping that guy onto the waiver wire is going to feel bad.
Well, if you had to pick one, which one would you do? Jordan Mason or Tank
No,
Bigsby?
I would drop
Okay.
Tank of the two.
All right, that'll do it for the mailbag. Watch every game every Sunday with NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV. Visit youtube.com/fantasyfootballers. We will have YouTube TV up, by the way.
Yes, we
on
will.
all 9 screens this weekend as we take in week 1 of the NFL season. Local and national games on YouTube TV. NFL Sunday Ticket for out-of-market games. Base plan required. Excludes digital-only games. Commercial use excluded. No refunds. Tomorrow is starts
One
of the
sleep.
week.
One sleep.
Matchups. And football time. So we will be back with you tomorrow. Come along for the ride all season long, Foot Clan. Join thefoot.com. The Discord server, thousands of like-minded fantasy football fans await. Talk to you tomorrow.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Join our fantasy football community on jointhefoot.com and follow us on Twitter @TheFFBallers.